Hi and welcome to Adventure Airsoft. My name's Mike. Today, this is a really quick video just talking about gloves. So first off, it's quite an embarrassing thing for me. After 15 years military service, I was discharged with premature arthritis in my hands. Now at the minute, I do try and take as much care as I can of my hands. You know, I've got some medication for it, but I've also, you know, used a plethora of creams and that kind of stuff to help me function. But obviously, airsoft is a lot to do with the hands, and a lot of effort goes into that. As you can see by some of my videos, I do try and put a lot of effort in. But some circumstances, when it's wet or it's cold, I have to pick the games that I attend, and I also have to pick the environments that I go into. So sometimes you get caught out with inclement weather, and that has a knock-on effect for my hands. So sometimes 2 or 3 days will pass until I've sort of got my hands have recovered. There is things you can do to support your hands and try and get a better grip of what you're doing in those environments. So this is a few top tips now if you do suffer from certain hand issues or arthritis issues in your hands. So the first one for me is good gloves. I do suffer in the cold environments with dexterity. So, you know, either mag changes or changing settings on the gun, or, you know, getting a grenade out of a pouch, that kind of stuff. It does have detrimental effect. So personally, my favourite gloves to go is the Mechanics fast fit gloves. Really good gloves. I do think they are well priced. You know, you can find these for like between £16 and £25 depending where you get from. They've got a really thin palm. They last quite well. You know, they are fast fit, so literally they fast fit quite well. And they have a really good grip, I feel, with this sort of like a felt almost feel to them to try and grip magazines, etc. And even when they're wet or damp, they do tend to keep the same levels of grip, which I found, which is quite good. So they're my go-to glove. The other one that I've used in the past, you can see these are well worn. I've used these on armoured vehicles and stuff, commanding, etc. These are called Commandos gloves. Notoriously previously been seen in a desert colour or a tan. Not really that many MTP ones knocking around. They did move across to MTP, but basically they withdrew them out of service. I'm pretty sure they still withdrew from service, but they're quite good and they are leather. So the good thing about the leather is, I mean, once they're on, they are on, fairly comfortable. Got a wristband strap, and you can find these between £5 and £10 in an army surplus store. Again, because they're leather, they've got quite a good grip on them. Downside is when they're wet, they are horrible to work with because it's wet leather. You know, not very good. But them are go-to gloves, them ones are preferred. Now what I do to try and mitigate the issues that you see with wet weather and cold weather is, if I know it's going to be wet or it starts to get wet, what I'll do, my top tip is to use a set of Nitrile Gloves. So I always keep a few sets of these around. So basically what I do is put a set of these on, which I'm sure you're used to putting them on with the current you know, COVID climate and that kind of stuff, and then put them inside that, and you can obviously tuck the blue thing out of the way. The good thing about that is, although they're not very warm and your hands do sweat a little bit in them, it doesn't really affect your dexterity because you've obviously got your gloves still. But the one thing it does do is when these gloves get wet, which these aren't waterproof clearly, but the nitrile is, it just prevents that cold getting through into your bones and into your hands. And then when you get back into the safe zone, you can just rip them off and your hands are quite warm again. You know, not a problem. So that's my top tip. You know, keep a couple of sets of these. It doesn't matter what gloves you use. Even if you use some cut down gloves, fingerless gloves, you can just chop the fingers off and just give you a bit more warmth in your hands to function and do your job. Okay. So if you do suffer from any sort of arthritis in your hands, they are a great top tip for that. Okay. You can see a link to both sets of gloves, certainly this set of gloves in the description below, and the rest of the kit I use. And please look at my kit videos, and also go on to www.adventureairsoft.com to see a full rundown of my kit and any other blogs and videos we've got. So thank you for your time. Take care.